Hey strangers, it's Thursday, it's Hannah, and I'm a little tired today, so I'll just keep it simple. I've got some of my favorite books that when I rule the world we found in every hotel room across the globe. So let's get started. I'm actually not going to talk about any plays in this video because despite the fact that I love Shakespeare, I have far too much to say about it to squish it into one little video, so it'll be books. This is Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey. The Robert McCloskey books are very close to my heart because I read them with my dad when I was yay high. This book was one of my first books that I ever read, and I ended up actually memorizing it. Some of the memories all my relatives have of me is my wandering around the house reciting Make Way for Ducklings. I can still recite parts of it, not the whole thing, but parts of it. So I've got a large stack of books here, and I'm just going to go through them by title because I'm never going to be able to explain by all of them. My dog-eared copy of all of Oscar Wilde's plays. I'm a huge Oscar Wilde fan. The Tempest, special to me because of the memories I have from when I was in The Tempest. Complete Sherlock Holmes Volume 1 by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Don't ask me why I don't have Volume 2, but this is the one that's important anyway because it's got Hound of the Baskervilles in it, which is my favorite. Pride and Prejudice. This was, I believe, my uncle's copy of Pride and Prejudice, and he wrote in some very impudent comments in the margin. This book makes me laugh anyway, and it makes me laugh more when I read this copy because there's all kinds of little scrawlings in there from when he was in school. I don't think he knew what he was talking about, but it's really funny anyway. America's Women by Gail Collins. Gail Collins is my very favorite columnist for the New York Times. She writes the best editorials, and she also wrote this book. I'm really into history, and so this is one of my very favorite history books. Great Gatsby, probably my favorite book ever. Read it when I was in 8th grade and didn't understand it at all. Read it 2 years later when I was a sophomore in high school and was like, this guy is brilliant. Side note, F. Scott Fitzgerald was a drag queen, which just makes this book even more fantastic. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell is also one of my favorite authors. He writes for The New Yorker a lot. I love his books because they're nonfiction and they can hold my attention. I'll just round this video off by reading to you a little bit from another of my favorite books, Beloved by Toni Morrison. I read this book for school, and I didn't expect to like it, but I really, really did. I love this book, so here's a little segment. There is a loneliness that can be rocked, arms crossed, knees drawn up, holding on. This motion, unlike a ship's, smooths and contains the rocker. It's an inside kind, wrapped tight like skin. Then there's a loneliness that roams. No rocking can hold it down. It's alive, on its own. A dry and spreading thing that makes the sound of one's own feet going seem to come from a far-off place. Everybody knew what she was called, but nobody anywhere knew her name. Disremembered and unaccounted for, she cannot be lost because no one is looking for her. And even if they were, how could they call her if they don't know her name? Although she has claim, she is not claimed. In the place where long grass opens, the girl who waited to be loved and cries shame erupts into her separate parts, to make it easy for the chewing laughter to swallow her all away. It was not a story to pass on. I forgot one very important book. It is my conversation with Joss Whedon Firefly guide book. It's very special, even though it has no literary value whatsoever, it is still awesome. And on that note, I will see you all next Thursday, and don't forget to be shiny.